Yuan Ming. We are working with patterns again today. It's that time of the week. And today we are looking at making unnecessary comparison. I thought today we could do it a little different than we did the past few times. So today we will unify with the Chi field together. Right now in the beginning of the class for Yuan. So we alternate our state a little. And so our connection from our heart to the Shen and from Shen with the universe is deepened right away. And then we will go alternately into silence, to information, to silence, to information. To silence. So I will read or say one or two phrases, and then we can allow the information to be observed in silence, self-autonomously within all of us, each for, themselves together, but observing one's own state. And then I'll say or read the next few phrases, and then we can observe on those or see what comes up around those phrases. This is just an experiment, and we'll have a look how everybody likes that. We will see how this form of Yuan can work for us. So allow your Shen to go wherever it needs to go, and also allow your heart, your Shin, to inquire into any questions around the information you just heard that moment. Meaning, by now, you probably know the questions of Yuan very well. And, the 8 questions. Number 1, can you recognize this pattern? So you can relate this to every single time you hear information over a new time. So over and over again. Yeah, so we hear the information, then there will be silence. And in this time, you can see if maybe it was just an example of Jance's that he brought up. And you can, do I recognize this within me? And because you give yourself the time today to work this way, maybe you discover something that you haven't discovered about yourself. So maybe you have not recognized this aspect inside your life, inside your consciousness, inside your thinking, inside your behavior. It can be that something is allowed to come up from the deeper aspects of your consciousness. So, as the deeper aspects of your consciousness maybe are coming up this way, there's nothing we need to be scared of. This is the beautiful way how we gain access to, or we can see it as a beautiful way that we can gain access to this way, because this way we can maybe detect something that's blocking from inside out our life, our connection to the universe, our connection to ourselves, our connection to others, maybe. Pardon me. And so it'll be that we're sitting up quite a while. And if you can't sit upright that long, that's no problem. You may just relax, then lay down, and maybe just sit up for the first while when we build the G field and connect with the universe and connect to our Shin and connect our Shin to Shen, the consciousness, and allowing ourselves to be relaxed all the way. Yeah, so just don't be too concerned about the posture, because it's going to be the whole time basically that we're observing this new way of doing it today. Yeah, so the alternate of information and then looking and relating maybe all the 8 questions to that phrase you just heard. And just trusting the universe, simply trusting the universe, really being so open to, well, I wouldn't know anything about this phrase that is an aspect in my life. Maybe that's the way we think about it. And then when we allow in that moment to go, well, let's inquire into it. It's one of the 35 patterns, so to speak, which are pretty fundamentally human. So we can have a look. And we see what our Shen and the universe brings us. This is also a way of training ourselves to be able to learn the process of inquiring and then inquiring, asking the universe to bring us information, asking our Shen to connect with the information of the universe. And we learn to observe the information coming towards us. I mean, all Yuan practices, the 8th method, are doing that. We are, each time when we practice it, our consciousness is training that ability to connect our heart with our true self and the Shen, the consciousness, connect to the universe and become one with it. Yeah, so allow yourself to float between the 8 questions. With every single time, there will be some time, every time after information heard, there will be some silent time each time. Let's see how it goes. And well, let's enjoy the process. For just a short reminder, the 8 questions. So one is, do I recognize that pattern inside of me? that aspect in life, that unhealthy particle of my being? How does it manifest? What are the causes or the development? How does my false self validate or excuse or explain to myself why I continue to allow this or continue to validate it? Also, what could be the validation? Is there a positive aspect in that unhealthy aspect, in that unhealthy pattern? The next question would be to inquire into possible negative effects if it's not replaced, the unhealthy pattern. Then there is the inquiry into the intention about what to do from now on with this pattern or with this discovery. Am I going to take action to change it, or am I going to let it be and wait for a later time? Now that I've seen it, what's the intention? And then there's the possibility of your Shen and the universe showing you possibly healthier replacement information, replacement behavior, replacement thoughts, replacement mindsets. And the eighth question or topic is to go into your heart, go into a state of Wu-Shin, either all the five of them or one of them, and choosing, or any of them, and choosing to relate and to invite the heart, as invite through your heart, your consciousness and your whole self to adopt this replacement from now on. And to affirm or to accept the changes, to affirm and accept the replacement. So let's try it. Go ahead and please put yourself into a really nice position if you haven't yet. Looking straight forward, lifting up from Bai Hoi. And draw your vision back. Closing the eyes gently. And relaxing the whole body. Relax your head. Relax your neck. Relax your shoulders. Relax down the arms. Relax into your hands and fingers. Relax your upper chest. And the abdomen. Relax your upper back. And the rest of your back. Feel the calmness and relaxation moving into you now. Relax the pelvis. Relax your legs. Lift Yin to lower dantian. Relax. Awareness inside the body, the emptiness and spaciousness within. Expand your awareness out, becoming one with the universe. Draw your awareness back, calm and peaceful. Open to the universe with reverence and utmost Gongqing. Let the bright universe nurture your heart with compassion and love. You feel relaxed, you feel free and joyful. Chi is flowing harmoniously. Feel inside of you the willingness to love yourself and to take care of yourself this way. Awareness to lower dantian. Do dantian breathing. Chi is gathering in dantian as you dantian breathe. awareness in your heart. Allow the Qi and awareness rise up to Xin Ming. With the Kai Xin open heart words, invite your heart to join your awareness. Heaven, earth, and human are all infinite, wise. They are all teachers with infinite wisdom. I open my Shinmen to trust and love them unconditionally. With gratitude in my heart, I receive the bright light of their love and wisdom, and I unify with it. My Shen, Yi, and Shin are fully aligned with the light of Tao. With Gongqing, realization and wisdom are arising. I am one with the light of the wisdom of the universe. Can you see the unbelievable vitality and creativity of your whole being? Connect with your heart, the consciousness of your heart. Your Xinling is the best inquirer. Into your life. Allow your Xinling to expand upwards and to connect with Shen. Shen, with its infinite potential, will bring you information that you need to change your life. Your Xinling and Shen Yi are a beautiful team to look into the pattern of making unnecessary comparison. The pattern of making unnecessary comparison refers to the mentality and behavior of making unnecessary comparison, including making comparison without a meaningful reason or purpose. Where do I compare myself unnecessary? Or where is maybe the reason for it not meaningful, not purposeful? Here is a few examples. Why is it that your friend ... always does better in exams than you? It is unfair that Marie is so pretty and I am not. Is it meaningful to be so focused on looks all the time? How something looks, how I look, how a specific body part looks, how I don't look, how my house or garden looks like, how my car looks. what I have dressed, how that looks. Where does it come from, this big emphasis on comparing? How important are looks in comparison to the development of the heart and its qualities, the ability to be in the state of love, the ability to have compassion, respect. When did this start? How far back in human history did it start to be so concerned about looks? Is it meaningful to keep comparing this way? Here and now is some time and space to inquire into this. It is very deeply ingrained, this topic, into our consciousness. Enjoy the silence if you don't receive information, and trust that the information will come later, tomorrow, through a dream, next week, in a situation. Trust that you're starting up while you get a stone rolling, and your consciousness will work with it. An old friend from school is now very rich and living in a big house, and we are still renting. How deep does the need to be rich go? What's the purpose of that? Is it meaningful? Why is it so deeply ingrained into our motivational drive? Can you detect that material security seems to have to do a lot with it? Where does material security start and where does it end? How much is enough? I am no less of a human being than those sitting in first class seats. Why do I have to fly coach every time? What makes the value of a person up? What determines your value, your worth? Albert is so lucky. He can have anything he wants. My life is still so tough, even after working so hard. Here is another example. I have been working hard on cultivating my life for so long. It is so unfair that some other people who haven't been practicing as long have reached a higher level of realization or even enlightenment. This pattern can be a source of incessant stress. Have a look. Where does it cause stress in your life? Is making unnecessary comparison related to competitiveness? Is it related to envy and jealousy? Well, in your life, is the incessant stress coming from making unnecessary comparison related to competitiveness in your life, to envy and jealousy? Is it related to being tormented by loss and gain? To greediness? To exaggerating and debasing? Do we exaggerate things because we make comparison? Do we debate ourselves or others because we make comparison? Does making unnecessary comparison have anything to do with approval seeking? How is it related? Do we actively pursue approval from others because we compare ourselves beforehand? How about perfectionism? What is perfect? What comes after perfect? Is it necessary to compare, to perfect, to compare yourself to perfect, to compare others to perfect or a perfect world? The information field is getting stronger and stronger. Chi information are gathering, and calmness deepens. Can you see some relations between the pattern of making unnecessary comparison and to be eager for quick results? Are you starting to see how complex these different aspects of our consciousness are interrelated? And how we are slipping from one unhealthy pattern into another one. Besides being driven to needing quick results, does this pattern, making unnecessary comparison, have any to do with fixed expectations? And besides being a source for incessant stress, this pattern can also cause discontent. Does it cause discontent in your life? You're not rich enough. You're not thin enough. You're not tall enough. You don't have enough people who love you. How about dissatisfaction? Does this pattern cause dissatisfaction? low self-esteem, where does low self-esteem come from? Is it coming from this pattern, maybe? So if we detect some low self-esteem because, well, obviously we compare ourselves to something else, and that seems to be esteemed as lower than something else. Can you see the value in simply sitting here and doing work on your consciousness, being calm, relaxed, and unified? So when we could stop making these unnecessary comparisons, would our low self-esteem be, I guess we could call it healing? Would it be healing? Would it be, become more healthy? Would we then still have to exaggerate and debase to make ourselves bigger or to make others smaller? Or also, if we already have low self-esteem, are we prone to debase ourselves, to make ourselves even more smaller because we keep comparing to something or someone else? Some expectation in ourselves, maybe. How about self-pity? Can you detect self-pity in yourself? Why did she or he do this to me? Why did this happen to me? Why is it happening to me? It's not happening to them or everyone. I'm in this tough, bad situation. Why is this? Here is another word, another key word in relation to making unnecessary comparison: defeatism. To feel defeated. To feel that life defeats you constantly. A sense of failure. To be defeated. How about arrogance, self-inflation, or narcissism? Do making unnecessary comparison have anything to do with arrogance, self-inflation, or narcissism? When the pattern of making unnecessary comparison is overly active, making such comparisons could become one's biggest source of motivation and the driving or guiding force for life. So if we are driven, motivated for living, guiding us in our life decisions, in what we do all day, what we do all year, what we do, how we spend our free time, how we spend our working time, how we spend our family time. If we are driven by this overly active pattern, what could happen then? Understand that the reality, understand that it is a reality that every person and everything in the universe is unique. It is not necessary to pursue superficial uniformity or so-called fairness, and it is unlikely that uniformity and fairness can be achieved. Can we feel happy for our uniqueness? Recognize that every person has both weaknesses and shortcomings, and also many strengths and positive qualities. The focus should be on valuing the strengths and the positive qualities and to making good use of them as much as possible and in every present moment, rather than making unnecessary comparisons. So first accept the imperfections, your own imperfections with an open heart, and treat yourself and everything with gratitude, gongqing, and love. Focus on living this way to then make every day better. This is a more meaningful and useful way to live and to be, rather than making unnecessary comparisons. Can you feel the chi field and the information field getting stronger? Your unification is deepening by every moment. Allow the information field to work on you, work with you, and you work with it. Simply being here, unified with the chi field, the universe will help you transform some or a lot of that pattern. When it is necessary to make a comparison, do it objectively and from the perspective of totality. For example, see oneself, see yourself from a perspective that is beneficial for understanding, changing, and developing one's own life. So when you detect yourself making comparison, also comparing yourself to something, someone else, then try to expand. Try to see it in a way how you can relate it so it is beneficial for gaining understanding, how it is beneficial for healthy change, how it is beneficial to developing your life. Approach viewing other people and the external world from a perspective that can inspire you. Approach it from the perspective that can motivate you and that can inspire and motivate you to and others to learn and to grow. Approaching the situations this way comparisons can be quite helpful. When you find yourself being jealous of someone, try to shift the focus from what a person has and enjoys to the effort and the sacrifice that that person has made. Can you see how it's in the end all about your state? So, you feel, so all of the topics we looked into, defeatism, the sense, defeatism, to feel defeated, a sense of failure, low self-esteem, jealousy, competitiveness. Can you see how you are in a very uncomfortable state of being? How you are in a state that is not nice for you to be in. I just remembered something that Yance once said. Jealousy is like grilling, barbecuing your own heart. So you won't feel nice, you won't feel comfortable, you won't feel wonderful when you're in a state like that or similar to that. And so you can shift it in focusing on, the sacrifices, the efforts, the work that this person has done to have it. And to maybe be loving and be happy for them. The criteria that we adopt when we make a comparison should always be examined. Yeah, the criteria. When we make comparisons, we always have like a reference point, right? Mainstream values may not be the only standards to adopt when making a comparison. So meaning that is mainstream really a meaningful point of reference? Instead, the path we choose should reflect values that are truly beneficial for the health and growth of ourselves and others. So going against mainstream this way is not easy to find a balance between rebellion and going with the flow of the mainstream. Because mainstream means mainstream. It means that many humans think this way or go that way, function that way. So that means, pardon me, that means that that information is in the consciousness of many humans, and they constantly radiate this out into the chi field in which we live in, into the information field that we are living, doing our thing. Yeah, it's like this bloop, 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 beep, beep. This information going out in ripples. And you are like a sponge that has been, like a magnet or an antenna that has been thrown into that water, or that antenna that stands in between all of that and receives that information coming your way constantly, trying to suggest to you that this is the way to be, this is the way to think, this is the way to feel, this is the way to do stuff. And very often, one feels in the need to rebel against all of this because one doesn't really know how to not be influenced or be like sucked into or drowning in that information. So this way, rebellion, very strong resistance and uproar is a tool we might resort to. Just feel into it for a moment. The state of rebellion. I'm not doing it this way. This is not right. Da 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 da. Can you feel it? Now come back to the calm, to the relaxed, deep inner sense of knowing that you are unique and you are allowed to be the way you are, and all the unhealthy bits and pieces you will become aware of, and you are becoming aware of, and you are willing to change it. So this being allowed to be who you truly are is becoming stronger and stronger, because the healthier your consciousness becomes, the purer your heart becomes. The clearer your understanding of being this way is healthy and beneficial for you and all will become. And then there is no need to compare, nor as to compare unnecessary, which will cause this stress, the pressure, the dissatisfaction, the sense of failure, low self-esteem, arrogance, debasing, exaggerating, discontent, all of that, and this need to rebel, all of that will go away. And it all can start with this pattern to make unnecessary comparison. It is important to come to the realization that the distinction of I and others is not as clear cut as what most people think. In essence, all humans and other beings are a unity or a totality. Individuals and the world are not separable. Therefore, each individual should endeavor to build a society where all can thrive and develop. So this is very intriguing, yes? The I and others, the distinction of that and the separation of that is not as clear cut as most people think. This is a very intriguing phrase of Janssen, don't you think? What does that mean? Where did your I start? Did it start at your birth? Did it start with the formation of your brain in month 3 in your gestation space or gestation time frame while you were in the womb? Did your I start when you were discovering yourself between 1 and 3 through your body? Between 3 and 7 when you started to discover your own emotions, likes and dislikes? Did your I start in puberty? When you demanded to be your own person? Did your I start, did it start in the moment when the egg of your mother and the semen of your father connected and became one? And cells started to multiply, reproduce? Did you start as collective consciousness before that moment of conception? Did it start, this I that you are now, did it start in the moment of death in the life beforehand? Did your I start in the moment when the universe was simply a vacuum, a state of being, of nothingness? Did you start when the planet came to be? Did your I start when humans started to be Homo sapiens or Homo sapiens in English? Was it then you started to be I? When was your beginning? We have some time to go deep into that now. Allow yourself to ponder this information. If you are chi, chi is basically accumulation like fog, yes? It's a specific material that sort of is accumulating at a specific space and time. So you are a chi field. Can you move two fog fields into each other? Can you move two chi fields into each other? We unify with the universe every day when we do some form of practice or when we remember to think about, all right, I need to unify with my heart, with the laws of the universe, with the chi of the universe. The I and the you. Where is the distinction? So when you are chi and everything else is chi around you as well, does your I really stop with your skin or a few meters beyond your skin in um, in other systems or old concepts? For me, old concepts, in my understanding, old concepts, people used to call it aura. Do you stop there? Where do you begin? Where do you start? Where do you stop being you? Why do we compare so strongly that from those three apples, two of them are mine and one is only yours? Or other way around, if you have two apples and I have only one, why would I be jealous about that? Are you not I? Am I not you? you find yourself in a state that you don't like being in, impatient, dissatisfied, barbecuing your heart, aka jealousy, feeling inferior, feeling a failure, feeling the opposite than inferior, bigger than others, more important than others. Can you see how this seemingly little pattern, one of the 20 behavioral patterns, but can you see what we did as humans, what we are doing as humans? How we see people of other cultures as lesser, maybe because they don't eat with fork and knife? Maybe because I have come across something that is a bigger or better killing machine. I have the right to debase them, to defeat them, well, to even start fighting them. Much of history can be related back to this pattern being active in our consciousness. You can make a comparison now. The last few minutes, the last few hours, like the last 1 or 2 hours doing this web class. You can make a comparison. Do you think it was meaningful and purposeful to spend this time the way you did? Relaxed, calm, listening with your heart, connecting with the universe to showing you, inquiring into things about you that you might, replace, change a little. To be able to more experience this state. Can you also maybe do some homework if you like, only if you like? The homework being to compare and making a necessary comparison between your living from the heart and living from your mind throughout the day. Compare those two different states of being. When do you feel comfortable, safe, all right, and peaceful? When some Wu Xin are present, love, gratitude, respect. Or when you are listening to the false stories and false informations, the distinctions, the comparisons of your mind. Feel your Shin Ling. Accept and affirm this beautiful state of the open heart, the strong heart, the pure heart. The gratitude of having discovered everything you have discovered today, and the gratitude for everything that you will discover deriving from today's time spent unified and looking at this information of human consciousness. Can you love yourself and respect yourself for doing this effort? Can you trust the universe, the chi field, and yourself to be using all the discoveries from today, the recognitions, the realizations, to further support you and your change? Can you affirm loving those changes? And go ahead and open out to the universe with your consciousness and draw all the information back to your heart. And Shen Yi. And then open out to the universe and draw back to lower Dantian, anchoring your whole being and chi field, your whole life in Dantian. And have it rise up to the heart again. This is your reference point. You can make it so for the rest of your life, or keep coming back to it. And if you have been sitting cross-legged, open your legs, hands on your kidneys, rub chi in, send chi deep inside, and then tap and vibrate chi down your legs, guide it down. To lower dantian, and to the head and face if you like. And then gently open your eyes. Thank you for being here today. How did you like this form of Ling Yuan? The chi field and the information field got very strong throughout it. So I trust deeply into the benefits for us all. Thank you. Yuan Tong Ling Ming.